While we wait for Dennis, I want to hear your corny Halloween jokes.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do skeletons have low self-esteem?
I know this one.
Well, why is it?
Because they have nobody to love.
All right. When did the vampire read the New York Times? No, why? I'm sorry. Why did the vampire read the New York Times?
I don't know.
He heard it had great circulation. Okay. Where does a ghost go on vacation? I'll give you a hint. It's like a... It's in California.
Something like Hollywood, but...
You're close.
But like Hollywood or...
No, well, no, it's not Hollywood. It's Malibu. Where's Malibu?
So you brought candy for me today.
We did.
That's very nice of you.
He was a impulse purchase.
Yeah, usually is.
Well, he was like on the front counter at like Publix when you walk in, and this was like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
And he was just so cute. So we bought candy.
Well, he is cute.
But the thing is that we have a bowl in the center of our counter, and it's from last Valentine's Day. And it became like our junk bowl, like car keys and all that stuff.
Right, yep. Everyone needs a junk bowl.
Yeah, we were like, okay, we need to update our bowl. So then we
found him, and he was just cute.
Or pull him this way. There.
Yeah.
I can see him now.
I gotta keep reminding myself to be aware of the people that are listening into the crowd that aren't watching on video. So we're looking at a candy bowl of a Frankenstein head, but it's not really like a creepy Frankenstein. It's like a really adorable Frankenstein.
He's like giant eyeballs and like a really big head, and
yeah, it was like candy coming out of his head. So that's awesome. And in true Gale Force fashion, they always bring the fun. So so that's very nice of you guys. So welcome. We're getting rolling. Welcome to Connected by Water, presented by Joey Accardi, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram. Today we have once again Connected by Water Fleet ambassadors, Amanda and Emily Gale, Gale Force. Mm-hmm. Welcome again for the millionth time to the studio.
Thank you.
It's your home away from home. We hope you feel that way.
Yes.
And you guys have had a lot going on lately.
Yeah, we've been really busy.
You guys have always been busy, but lately especially.
Literally, COVID's the best thing that happened for our business.
Kind of for us too.
Yeah.
We're just crazy busy. Everything's going in the right direction, and everything's happening exactly how we would have hoped it would.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah.
Good. Well, hard work pays off. You guys certainly earned it. So
thank you.
And you just got back from Washington.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's a place I've never been to.
It was our first time there.
It looked cold.
It was freezing. It was in the 40s, pretty much, in the 30s early in the morning, and in the 40s in the day.
But actually, can I just clarify one thing before we get into all this?
Yes.
So since COVID, everybody always asks us, like, they want to book charters with us.
Yes.
And I just want to clear the air because we always get these questions, but we're not running charters anymore.
Right.
And I just wanted to say that because the amount of messages we get is a lot. And obviously we loved chartering with everybody. But since COVID, we've been making a lot of big decisions. Like, I guess washing has to do with it. That's kind of why.
Yes. But that doesn't mean that you can't fish with us. We are hosting, we can talk about this into our podcast, but we're hosting women's fish camps and Poly Ridge trips. So we're still taking people fishing, just not the everyday 4, 6, 8 hour private charters.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I just want to say that we're creating something really cool, which
you are.
Is kind of a secret.
Oh, you mean that specific thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which has to do with like, we're just going a different route with our business.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very cool. And you guys, I know you guys have done a heavy focus on your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Which is growing immensely. Your social channels are growing immensely, and you're doing it in a great way.
Thank you.
Really, I mean that. There's a lot of how-to videos that you guys have been doing lately. So I'll just say for the record, I mean, if you're not following Gale Force by now, then what have you been doing?
Yeah.
So I say this a million times too. We're always so proud of you guys, and just seeing the growth, and just how well you handle yourselves and how well you guys have been promoting your platform. It's been impressive.
Thank you.
But I'm not surprised. I'm really not. So this is kind of everything that we were hopeful of and hopeful for and expecting to see, from you guys, because nothing for nothing. I expect nothing but the best from you guys. So, and rightfully so, because you guys always deliver the best. Tell me a little bit about, before we get into the Washington thing.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that, your decision going into stopping chartering and getting into just moving forward with your brand more so than the charter, which I agree with.
Yeah.
I'm very happy that you guys decided to do that. So tell me why, rather than me tell you why.
Well, I think when we started our charter business, first of all, it was 100% what we wanted to do, but we knew going into it that we didn't want to be 50-year-old wrinkly lady captains that spent their careers on the water. At least not. Charter fishing is really intense. And I feel like it was necessary that the steps that we went through to get where we are. But when COVID happened, we initially lost all of our charters. And we kind of looked at each other and we were like, well, we need to still move forwards. So we gave ourselves work weeks. We said we have to work 5 days a week, filming and editing and producing videos, because we figured we would just take this time to work on our marketing. And I don't think in the moment that we really planned on having YouTube.
No. In the moment, it was
you
kind of...
You didn't plan on blowing up, but you
did.
Yeah, in the moment, it was just, well, we needed something to stay busy because we're really active people and we're going to go insane if we just twiddle our thumbs and wait till COVID's over. Honestly, I mean, we don't know when it's really ending, what direction things are going. So we decided, let's just give ourselves full-time jobs as producing YouTube videos. And our whole purpose was, someone actually once told us this in a comment, but it was actually really helpful, is to educate, explain, and entertain.
Yes.
All in one video. So we want to teach them about fishing. We want to explain what we're doing, but the whole time it's fun to watch. So if you're not hardcore fishing and there to learn, you don't have to.
Or if you're a 5-year-old and you don't want to sit through the boring knot tying, you don't really have to.
So we do all of that on our YouTube channel. And since doing that, we've really enjoyed it so much because I love chartering and teaching on a charter, but when you're on a charter, I might have an audience of 4 or 5. I mean, 4 on our boat. We don't really go more than 4 people. But on social media, we have an audience of almost 50,000 on YouTube now. We're at 49,000. So the fact that we can reach such a large crowd, I think we both feel like we can push like a positive fishing message.
Yeah. It's more...
And you really are doing that, pushing that positive message out. It's very refreshing to see. So,
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so that's kind of, I guess, it naturally happened, and then all of a sudden YouTube really, really picked up. So that was when we realized we basically, with the amount of hours in the day in a week, we almost had to make a choice. Well, do we want to continue YouTube or do we want to go back to chartering?
And there was a time period between when COVID started to settle down that we were doing charters and YouTube, and it was really hard.
It was like impossible.
It was really hard. Like we were like, okay, we were uploading 4 times a week during COVID, which is a lot. Even
4 10-minute videos.
Yes, even if it is all we do full time, it's still a lot. And we were like, okay, well maybe we'll do 3 times a week and then charter twice, or twice a week and charter twice, and that was even harder because chartering, a lot of people don't see it, but I know all the charter captains do, and like you understand it, that it's not, you don't just go out for 4 hours. You have to prepare sometimes 2 days in advance, depending on weather and bait and rigging and all that stuff.
Just getting ice in the morning and that alone
you're getting up at 4 a.m. You normally got maybe 2 or 3 hours of work before the people even get on your boat, and then you got 2 or 3 hours of work after they leave.
So we felt like we didn't want to be in a situation where we couldn't give our clients 110% of ourselves if we were also trying to film YouTube videos. So we kind of like, once we finished all the charters that we had to run, we were like, okay, let's get back to this.
Yeah, producing. And we are still, I mean, we're actually taking your friends Win and Lily out.
Yes.
We have that
I'm
planned.
very excited about that trip.
That's in January. So we are still, I guess, taking VIPs out.
Right.
And
you have to be a VIP of the Connected by Water studio in order to arrange a charter.
Yes. But it's not over forever or anything. Well, but the whole day in, day out.
Time permitting, situation permitting, you'll do it, yeah.
I mean, I guess we've just really enjoyed reaching such a large audience. And that's our goal, is to continue to reach a large audience and show all ages that everybody can fish. You can be young, you can be old, it really doesn't matter. Your families, kids, that's kind of, we just want to really explain that everybody can do it. It doesn't have to be this scary, intimidating sport. Because fishing can be very, very technical. And when we were first getting into it, it was scary and intimidating.
Yeah. definitely.
So. Yeah. You know, it's funny you mentioned about the time-consuming aspect of and how that kind of crept into your charter stuff. And John and I were just talking a little bit before the show about something unrelated, but that's production. You guys are in production, right? And we're both in production. That's what we do. You know, whether it's producing a painting or producing, apparel, or he's producing his videos or something like that. It's a creative business. You guys are in a creative business, and that takes time.
Yeah.
Production really takes a lot of time, and I don't think unless you actually do it, and if you want to do it in like the right way, it's a time suck. And really, it's when you lose a day, we were talking about, because I'm like, oh, Singularis is asking me to go fishing on Thursday. You know what I mean? Which is a great boat to go fishing on. Yeah. I'm so busy. It's like I fall behind a day right now. I'm falling behind on a lot of big, important things we got going on. So it's tough, to balance everything like that. So, but speaking of balancing everything, you guys are taking trips, and you just got back from Washington.
Yes.
So tell us all about that trip, because following you on social, seeing all the pictures, it looked cold.
Yeah.
But which is weird for us, you know what I mean? It's 80 something degrees out, and we're wearing long sleeves in the studio.
On.
Yeah, you got pants on, like we're we're all Florida people here. And it looked like you caught a lot of fish. So take me through that trip.
Yeah. Well, so our rod sponsor is Batson Enterprises, and they make rod blanks, which are rain shadow rod blanks.
And parts. Batson Enterprises is
the nuts and bolts of fishing.
Yes. They are, I think, one of 3 of the largest rod blank and component supplier in the U.S. And they have their line of blanks called Rain Shadow, which is the team that we're a part of.
Cool.
So just to clarify that, because people, Batson isn't an up front. You don't see them everywhere. They're behind the scenes.
Right. But what's cool is that they're from Washington, and we've never been to Washington. So they flew us out there to go salmon fishing. And I had never caught a salmon before. And the crazy part was the boats don't have engines. It's kind of like white water.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you're rowing?
Yeah. So we're rowing.
Cool.
It's like white water rafting.
I love that.
Down the river. But there's only a couple rapids. There weren't a lot of rapids.
There's like 2 rapids. But yeah, you drift down. You get in this little, what are the boats? Aluminum, right?
They're aluminum boats, because they have to be able to hit rocks and things.
Alumacrafts? I fished on an aluminum boat in Wisconsin before for 2 weeks straight. That's a fun experience.
It was really fun. And you just go down the river, and boats are really small.
You have your seat, and you don't move from your seat.
You don't get up from your
seat.
Really?
I was sitting in the front, and then Amanda was in the back, and then we had 2 guides between the 2 of us, and they were the ones that they actually hooked our bait, they baited our hooks for us, not because we didn't want to do that, but I guess you
use salmon eggs.
Right.
And the eggs are cured, and it's this whole process. And
so each boat had a dedicated person that wore gloves and handled all that stuff, because it's very sticky. And
I have to interject real quick, this one thing. So talking about Captain Charles Hertel, right? So we took the kids down to the Keys to go fish with him. And since he's the charter captain, a couple times he started grabbing my line to bait my hook for me.
Yeah.
And I really was just yeah, dude, go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, me too. I was
I was ready to do all of it. And then they were like, no, we'll do it for you. And I was like, you know what? I do this for a lot of people. So go ahead.
They had a really nice system, and it makes sense on a boat that small. You really can't be walking around the boat. Make sure you grab your bait. I mean, there's not a lot of space. You're stuck in your little square, your corner. Yes. And so was she.
We went out with 2 boats. It was the 2 of us and guides on our boat. And then the other boat had Bill Batson was the owner, and some of their marketing team were on another boat, and we were just all fishing, drifting side by side down the river.
And well, basically, so we had never caught a salmon before, never been salmon fishing, and on my very first cast of the day, I hooked into my very first salmon, and it was a king salmon, and it was big. So it was really, really cool.
How's the fight?
Way harder than I anticipated, I guess.
I
don't
feel
know.
like
they're really, I want to say dense fish, and they fight for a long time. I mean, it's a saltwater fish, essentially. So we were fishing them in the river in shallow water, but they fight. And we're fishing really, really heavy drag.
Yeah.
I think that's the style there. So it wasn't that long.
I think part of the reason why you fish heavy drag is because you have to fish barbless hooks.
Right.
So you can't let that line go slack.
Right.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you have to make sure that and we're also fishing 10.5-foot rods. So it was just very interesting, different technique. But we were netting all the fish. And
That's so cool, though.
Yeah.
You're getting out and, different cultures and different, even different domestic cultures even and different fishing styles. It's always a good thing to do.
I would compare it to
I want to compare it to tarpon, but they don't jump. Okay. Sometimes they do.
Sometimes, I would compare it to tarpon.
As if you had a tarpon that didn't jump, just that really intense
like
hole.
snook, like big snook fishing.
Yeah.
So where they do that kind of slash on the top of the water.
They do that. Yeah.
Right.
So it was really cool. And then this specific day, we ended up catching and releasing, I think, over 20 salmon.
Wow.
Which is unheard of.
Like, we won the lottery with salmon fishing.
And then we had 6 keepers.
That's out of the norm for them,
too?
It's that's because you guys are the Gale Force, right?
Like, they said we'll catch, they catch maybe, 6 in a day would be nice, maybe 10 tops, but we caught and released over 20.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing Florida girls going to Washington and telling them how it's done.
I caught it was literally a 40-pound king salmon. And it was my second salmon ever, but my first king salmon. So my first one was a silver salmon, and my second one was a king salmon. And all the guides, and when the guides are really excited, when the locals are excited about it, it's a big deal. Mm-hmm. And they were like, people fish their entire lives for a fish like that.
Really?
And it was literally my second fish.
Wow. You got to get it mounted.
Yeah. Oh, I thought about that. Idea. I definitely thought about that.
Or a painting.
Or a painting's a good idea too.
It was.
I prefer the paintings personally, but
well, why not both?
Yeah, why not both? Exactly.
Yeah, it was just the fishing was so phenomenal and the action was nonstop. We ended up catching 2 keeper king salmon, which is 1 in a million at the same time as well. The guide had told us on this specific river, I think that was his 3rd keeper king salmon of the year, something just crazy numbers like that. So we had that good of a day that we were supposed to fish for 2 days, but after the first day, everyone was like, we won. We don't need to fish again.
Yeah,
so
right.
The second day we went crabbing.
Yes, for Dungeness crabs.
Dungeness crabs.
Yes.
And?
It was really, really fun. It's crazy. It's not like stone crab where you put your traps out and you come back 10 days later.
Right.
You drop your traps, you go to the beach, you walk around the beach for 45 minutes, and you go back and you pull them and they're filled. Mm-hmm. Literally, it was 1
really?
hour. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you can.
Sounds complicated.
I think the commercial guys do have traps where they leave,
Yeah.
But these recreational traps.
So you're not going out on the big boat and in 20-foot seas.
Just on a little aluminum center console.
Good.
Yeah. In the bay.
Yeah.
After 45 minutes, we basically, they took the boat to the lighthouse. We beached the boat at the lighthouse and
kind of explored.
Got to walk around, explore, and then 45 minutes later, we went and pulled the traps. And that was really fun. I got pinched by one of the crabs.
No.
It was bad.
Okay.
It was really bad.
What?
So they warned us, and they were like...
Where, in the finger?
Yeah, my thumb. I'll show you.
Can you see it?
Well, it's my nail's kind of purple now.
All right, for those of you not watching at home, you're just listening to the audio portion. Yeah, so Emily's without a thumb right now. I mean, Amanda's without a thumb right now. So, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so basically the way
I just called you Emily.
Yeah, I know, I noticed. It's okay. The crabs...
Yeah, I noticed.
The crabs, they warned us. They were like, these guys are if be careful not to get pinched because they'll go straight through your nail. They'll
pretty much guaranteed
take you to the hospital. You need stitches. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna be really careful. And so I had the crab in my left hand.
This was after we finished pulling all the traps. We went through all the crabs.
Yes.
And it was time to take pictures.
So we were taking pictures, and I wasn't looking, and my right hand was empty, and I was looking the other way, talking to somebody in conversation, and I talk with my hands. So my right hand was probably getting all moving around, and it got too close to the crab, so it reached over and grabbed my thumb, and it literally took 2 full-grown men to pry the claw open enough for me to pull my finger out. And it was as flat as a pancake.
It was really flat.
White, as flat as a pancake. And the only reason...
Are you freaking out?
She was...
So, in the moment, I was just wow, this really
super
hurts.
shocked.
And I was fine. And then I went and sat down. And then afterwards, my heart started racing. And I was
She started sweating.
I was okay. I started sweating. I was taking my layers off because it was after the fact. And the only reason that we realized that my thumb was okay is because I have dip nail polish on. So I know for the guys watching, they probably don't know what that means. But it's basically
what are you talking about? We all know what that means.
It's like a powder nail polish that you dip your nails in and it hardens.
So those are very hard.
So they're hard. So everyone's your nail polish saved you. And my nail polish cracked, obviously. And then I went home and I took it off, and it was like, it's still a little red dot there, but I basically got really, really, really lucky. And I mean, my thumb's still like, it's kind of like numb. Like I don't have like all my feeling in it. Yeah.
It's never gonna come back.
I think it will.
See, once this airs, like all the crabbers in Washington are now gonna start buying that nail polish and as a preventative.
Like seriously, it was like, but
connected by water dip nail polish.
Yeah.
Come out with it and start selling
so it was really cool though. And then afterwards they
clipped the
they
claw.
clipped the claw that had attacked
you.
me, and then we went and we did a crab, basically like a crab
crab
boil
boil
with the sausage, the corn, the crab. We had salmon, and we made sure that we ate the crab that got me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Die crab. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really amazing.
Yeah, that sounds like a great trip, with the exception of almost losing an appendage. But
No, yeah, literally, they were like, I can't believe how lucky you got. Like,
yeah,
so.
for sure. So
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
Washington.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
right.
And then, I mean, I guess I will add that obviously they are our rod sponsors. So we spent the day in the office with them too,
Cool.
doing
Building some
business.
custom rods.
Building
things like
custom
that.
rods.
Very
yeah.
cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I was happy to see that trip. And how cold was it?
It was in
In
the
the
morning.
30s.
It was in the 30s.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it didn't really get warmer during the day because the sun, well, when we were there, the sun came out every day.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But it stayed maybe 30s. I guess maybe it got to the 50s. But when
Only-
you're on the water, you're not protected at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wide open out there. Yeah, that's I guess, I don't know. I was like, because we're all sweltering here at home, and I saw you guys all bundled up, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. Very cool. You guys have had a lot of other stuff going on as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll get to that in a minute. But the fact that
Oh, yeah.
thing didn't like cut off your
Destroy-
finger
I know.
and
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it was ever going to cut off my finger, but it was, if they were scared it was going to break skin, and then you go to the hospital and get stitches. And
then
you lose your
the nail
fingernail.
polish,
I'm
finding
telling
that out
you.
was really strange, John.
Strange.
Very
Speaking of
strange. Right?
strange.
Speaking of strange, see how we like to segue that? Where it brings us to our segment called Strange Questions. Now, in the beginning I have to clarify for the audience. So in the beginning, we said this was going to be 3 strange questions, and we read 5. And then we are not going to number it anymore. So we're just going to call them strange questions.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. And we're going to just read off a handful of these. You have some people that have messaged you from your audience that we're going to read off as well. So we're going to read off a handful of them and see what we can do, see how much fun we can have. And at the end, we're going to pick one lucky winner. And they're going to win a Connected by Water prize pack, which is usually like a hat and a shirt and a couple of stickers and stuff like that. So,
Cool.
All right. So I think the first one, we're going to read Stan's first. Right. So we're gonna roll off with this one comes from Stan Hunt, legendary Pompano captain, Stan Hunt. I know he's gonna love that I just called him legendary. So, how often do you girls fight? And if so, who wins? And what's your go-to move? LOL.
Well,
so who wants to answer that one first?
how often do we fight?
These are tough questions because we really don't fight.
We very, very rarely fight.
I kind of figured as much.
Yeah.
But have you? All right, let me rephrase this. Have you guys ever gotten into like a really bad like fight?
Oh,
mean,
like
not a fist
physical?
fight.
I don't know.
Definitely not.
No.
No way.
I don't know.
No.
We've definitely had
I
like,
fought with my brother,
Right.
So it's like,
I don't think we've ever fought or wrestled like ever in our lives. The only fighting we used to do is we used to have like, what are those called? Like ping pong guns
Yeah.
and like marshmallow guns. That was what we would fight on the trampoline,
all right,
Yeah.
and we would go to war.
all right.
But it was planned. There was nothing
So
no anger to get out.
Right.
It was just, yeah, let's go.
All right, so the Gale Force does not fight.
Yeah.
We have our moments.
We have our,
Oh, tell me about those moments.
It's more, and we've talked about this before. It's more being siblings.
We've talked about this before on
yeah,
the
the
show.
podcast
Oh, yeah.
about how being
All right,
siblings
I'm an idiot then.
and being in business together. Any issues that you have as a sibling that you can blow off becomes very, very prevalent if you run a business together.
it just like enhances it. Like any issues we had as siblings, it was like, yeah, whatever, no big deal. It was just like little stuff like, you don't put your laundry away.
Or, well, I think a big part of it was in school, we had different study styles and we would still work together and study together. But at the end of the day, my grade was my grade and hers was hers. So I didn't care how she decided to handle her situation and she didn't care how I handled mine.
And same with
She
track.
didn't care how I organized my stuff or anything like that.
And with track, it was mostly an individual sport. So
Even though we trained together.
my performance was mine and hers was hers.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, we're business partners, and what I do reflects her in the business, and what she does reflects me in the business.
All right, so then I'm going to ask Sam White's question then.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Sam White asked this question. This might help clarify this a little bit about that. Sam White, of course, is the editor for Marlin Magazine. If one of them loses a giant fish at the boat, does the other one feel the pain?
I love that.
I would say yes.
I would say yes.
Definitely.
Yes, definitely.
100%. Right? Especially because we talked about this on our Yankee Caps trip. Remember you caught the scamp grouper?
Yeah. And the first thing she goes is, we caught a scam grouper. And I did all the reeling, but I think she actually deboned the bait.
Well,
the
I
ballyhoo.
deboned the bait and hooked it, and I was like, here, use this. And because we're a team and we're filming together and creating these videos, that she catches one, it's like, we caught one, the team caught one. So
It definitely feels.
if any of us loses a big fish, it's really sad.
Okay, so there's a deep empathy here.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is why you don't fight. I love it. I love it. All right, cool. There are some things in here that are not really very strange. So let me see.
We have some strange ones.
Yeah. All right. So you want to? Oh, here's one strange one. Comes from Jason Harrington. He's a good friend of the studio.
Oh, Tiny sent a message?
Yes, I'll read. I can read Tiny's. Said, have they ever doubled up and landed at the same time two mahi that look like they were twins?
Probably.
I would probably say yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure that's
yes.
happened.
All right. That's a yes,
Yeah.
Jason. All right. Very cool. Tiny's question is, what's the biggest fish you've ever seen?
I've ever seen?
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I'd probably say like a 400-pound blue marlin.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The from the custom.
No,
No,
Yeah.
in Kona. We went out.
Oh, the Kona.
Kona,
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. Yep. Yep. Very cool.
Yeah, I guess mine too. I
Yep.
wish it were
Yeah.
bigger.
I know. I wish I seen a grander. That would be cool.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Skip Dana asked, do their parents ever get them confused? I have 3 girls, not twins or close in age, and always call them the wrong names, just like I did with you guys. It's going to happen every now and then. Sorry. So he calls them all Fred now.
That is funny.
That's
So
hilarious.
like George Foreman,
Yeah.
like George 1, 2, that's
Yeah.
what Skip does with his
That's funny.
girls.
So-
do your parents ever get you confused?
No,
No.
I mean, when we were babies, they kept our hospital bracelets on until the doctor said they had to take them off because we were outgrowing them. And then she always painted her toenail. Mm-hmm. So Emily had a painted toenail.
You had a painted toenail?
I did. My mom said it was more for quick and easy. Like, oh, that one's Emily.
Okay.
But
yeah, not so much anymore.
I would say our dad confuses us more, and it's not that he can't tell us apart.
He's just
It's just he's
fast.
just fat. Yeah, he's fast.
just
He'll be like,
like,
Emily, Amanda, no,
which one are
Emily.
you? On to the
And
next
then-
topic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That happens in my family
yeah.
all the time. I'm constantly getting called
Yeah.
my brother and
Yeah.
sometimes a sister, which we're not going to figure out why that happened, but I don't know. Cool. Larry Simons asks, have they ever hooked / caught the same fish while fishing together?
I don't think we
That's
have,
happened before.
but
but
I
it has
caught-
happened with other people with
yes.
me.
Other people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we both, like our tuna ate the same bait and we both fought the same fish and the tuna had 2 hooks in it.
With who?
I don't remember. I think we were with,
It was in
Real
Real
life?
life, or
No.
oh, it was just you're just fishing.
it was kite fishing. No, it was with Bernie. I don't know.
You know?
It's happened.
It's definitely happened to us, but I don't think it's happened to us to each other.
No.
I've definitely hooked a fish that someone else hooked.
All right. What is Jim Ruback, Fear the Hook, Fear the Cook, friend of the studio, asks, what's your favorite costume you've ever worn for Halloween, and what candy, if any, is your favorite Halloween treat?
Okay.
Since we are a Halloween show,
We
we're
have-
going to ask the Halloween
Well,
question.
I know my favorite costume.
We have some cool twin costumes that we usually do.
Do you really?
every year.
Yeah.
So
I know one that's my favorite.
was it last year? No, last year we were the Doublemint twins.
That's my favorite right there.
That was really
so
fun.
cool. Yeah.
And I walked around with a fanny pack of Doublemint gum.
Yeah, and I was like, you want some gum? You want some gum? And then the year before, we were copy and paste.
That
So
was like one of my all-time favorites.
We wore the exact same thing, but I had a white T-shirt that said paste, and
All
hers
right,
was
I always use a
copy
copy.
because I was born
Nice.
second.
I was born first, so I was copy.
You're first.
And
Yeah.
then-
All
And
right.
she was
Paste.
paste. And we dressed the exact
what
same.
was really funny about this costume?
So you guys are in alpha order.
Yeah.
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 I'm twin B.
I'm twin A.
So what was really funny about this costume was if I wasn't with her, like if I was waiting in line to use the bathroom or something, the people around me would be like, "Where's your copy?" People knew exactly what the costume was, which I thought was really cool. Maybe they saw her somewhere over.
But yeah,
there.
that was actually my all-time favorite costume. And then other than that, we always done like really twinny
when
stuff.
we were kids, we dressed up as ketchup and mustard.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
We were a fish and a fisherman one year.
Oh yeah. We
Really?
did. Yeah, I was the fish. I was a mahi.
And I was a
She was
fisherman.
But a lot of people didn't get that costume because she looked like an outdoorsman, and I was wearing like all mahi print clothes,
And people were like, "What is that?"
and I was like, "What? I don't
Were
know."
you dressed like a freshwater river fisherman kind of thing?
Well,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
she was. Yeah,
Yeah.
people
So
got
the mahi
her.
didn't-
People got me, but I don't think people in like the rest of the world, when they see a mahi print, they're like, "Oh, that's a mahi." Like I don't think it's that common.
But
Gotcha.
fishermen knew.
All right. So those that needed to know knew.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Cool. All right. So thank you, Jim. That was a good question. I have to give a shout out actually to, we record this on Tuesdays and we air this on Fridays. So we're going to be airing this as our Halloween episode, but today's actually my anniversary.
Oh,
Right.
happy anniversary!
And thank you very much. And it's 13 years for Liz and I today. So I'm going to ask the question that she asked to ask you guys. If you were not on the water for a living, what would you have done career-wise?
That's a good question.
That's a really hard one.
That is, I feel like the easy answer would be probably something within my degree, like maybe.
I'm convinced that both of you could figure out
No.
the cure to cancer, so I don't know because I believe the best in you. So, but
I could have seen myself not going into the medical field with patients, but maybe doing more research. And then if it weren't related to my degree, I could have seen myself probably just working for like a corporate company and climbing a corporate ladder.
all right.
Yeah, I don't really know.
You don't know?
I don't know. It's really hard because I feel like, when we were in college, by our sophomore year, we both knew. Well, I would say from the moment we were 18, you and me were both like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Like, we both had that thought. And then our sophomore year of college, halfway into pre-med, we both said, well, I don't want to go to medical school. And we still finished our degrees. But I would say, like, from when we were 18 till maybe 2 years after we graduated, there was this, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life that we both went through. And it wasn't until, we really started to make a name for ourselves in the fishing industry that I realized this is, like, what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
So.
That period of time in your
Yeah.
life between like 21 and 25.
Yeah.
But is very much like a no man's land
Yeah.
It
kind of
is.
age.
It
like
is.
really like because your whole life you've been so attuned and I can't think of the word, but
You have so much
just
structure.
trained so much to be a student
Yeah.
that's your life for
Yeah.
I
your whole life.
definitely,
And
not that college isn't great. And you, of course, I think you should get some type of education after high school, whether it's in trade school or college or anything. But I definitely feel like society kind of pushes you to this really structured path. And that's not what life is like.
correct.
Right. It was
And-
almost like going to college. I was there because we were running track and, like, I absolutely
Continuing our
loved.
track career was not even a question. So, of course, you go to college because you get
But
to
the
keep running.
school side of it, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like what happens when I get out? What am I gonna do? And
Right.
there, at first, I would say it was from like 18 to like 23, almost 24.
Yeah.
We're 25 now. That was like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Well, it's the path of life, right?
Yeah.
And like, even if, let's just say hypothetically, even if you guys are like, okay, microbiology, pre-med and all that, and then you go, okay, and then you're going to go to medical school. And who's to say that throughout that process or even just after, then you become a doctor, that you still don't like look back at your life and go, did I do the right thing?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So everyone's got like their paths, but that age between is kind of like that time to figure it out. And I think everyone goes through that, whether on the outside looking in, it looks like they got it all together. I think on the inside, everyone
Right.
during that time frame is really just figuring it out.
I think we definitely
too,
had a lot of underlying stress and anxiety about our lives for literally years, like the years of college and then the early years outside of college. And everyone always tells me, don't worry, you'll figure it out. And that actually is really true. And sometimes I wish
At
I
the
really
moment,
just,
it's not.
Yeah,
I
it's
really
true.
wish I
Not what you
didn't
wanna
worry.
hear.
It
All
really
right.
is true. But
I'm like a John. He was working at Publix all these years, and all of a sudden now he's in the room with me as doing Connected by Water. See, he figured it out.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Thanks.
Just messing with you. All right. Sorry. All right, next question.
Cool.
Sorry, I always got to dig on John. So then I'm going to ask, let's see. I'm not going to ask dating questions.
Yeah, we get those a lot.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask that.
Yeah, we usually don't answer those.
So I'm gonna ask my last question from my group here.
Okay.
Right, and it comes from Jumbo. Right, and he is going to start some trouble and say, which one of you is better at fishing? Drama grenade, drop it. That's what he says. So I'm going to leave that one there, and you guys can answer that however you want.
I would say
This is actually a question we've answered before.
yeah.
Oh, you have?
Better.
Yeah, all right.
I don't think you can be better at fishing. Well, I guess we could.
It's really easy for us. Who's better at kite fishing?
Well, but when you say better, it's because you like it more. You know, like
I was
she
going to
is.
say better.
Okay, fine. She's better at kite fishing.
And then
Whatever.
I was going to say, who's better at slow pitch jigging?
Right.
You
So
think you're better?
yeah.
Okay. See?
I think I'm better
I
at.
think Stan's going to get his answer pretty soon.
I'm better at, and it's more because I feel like maybe I'm more passionate about it, so I try harder at high speed vertical jigging, slow pitch jigging. I really like.
Oh, she loves high speed jigging.
Yes.
I hate it.
So she
I
says
don't put
she's
the
not,
time in.
If she put the time in,
So she's better because she puts the time in and she's got like the rhythm down perfectly. And for me, I'm just like reel up, whatever, reel down 3 times. Pull it's just like I can do it, but it's awkward and it's fast and it hurts.
flying the kite stresses me out.
Yeah, it's just I think it's fun
I like it when you're with a team and you get the groove going.
and the wind works in your favor.
But
Yeah, that's pretty important.
she has more of a knack for it.
Yeah, so
All right.
you're definitely better at certain types of fishing.
Yeah.
And I'm
What about planer fishing?
I would
Probably
s-
the same.
I was gonna say maybe you.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Actually, thank you. I think I'd agree with that.
I guess Stan's not going to get his answer after all.
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, go ahead. You fire off your
okay.
questions.
So-
Are these going to be strange and fun?
Ours actually are strange.
All right, give me some strange ones.
This one was one of my favorites by someone named Katie. It says, would you rather be inked by a giant squid or swim through a school of lionfish?
Ooh.
All right, that I'd rather be inked by a giant
Inked
squid.
by giant squid, 100%.
Yeah, I think so.
A school of
Yeah.
lionfish sounds pretty scary.
Yeah.
That one was funny.
That would. Yeah, I got some visuals in my head.
What would
Yeah.
you rather do?
It's got to be the
ink.
squid. I mean,
Yeah.
right? I mean,
You can swim out of but like the lionfish, don't they like paralyze you?
but however,
Yeah.
if you're underwater, you're getting inked by a squid, and then there's like absolute black
Yeah,
darkness.
that'd
That
be
could be
pretty
kind of
scary,
freaky.
too.
I mean, if it's
too.
like the Kraken, maybe I'd
That's what I
rather.
mean. I'm imagining like a squid like the size of this room.
It's your next
You
painting.
know, that
is.
might be like, yeah. I'm gonna do a painting of the Gale Force getting inked
By
by
a squid.
a squid.
Yeah, that's. Both of those are scary.
Or a jumbo. I'll get jumbo inked by a squid.
Here, you read that one.
All right.
If you like it. I thought it was funny.
Have you ever pole vaulted off the bow of your boat into the water? So this one,
What?
this is from Chip from Instagram. What I like about this one is that we have pole vaulted off of a dock into the water.
Really?
Yes. So our pole
Any
vault
pictures
coach.
of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely have
Really?
probably some pictures. We'll have
You
to
gotta get
go
those
find
sometime,
them.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Our pole vault coach lives in Melbourne, Florida, and on
Uh-huh.
on the intercoastal up there. And we would, after long days of practicing, sometimes the athletes would all go over to his house, and we would dock vault basically. And what we would do is you run his. It was kind of on a slant, and you would run down the grass with the pole in your hand, and then when you go to plant the pole, which would be into the box, in this case, you plant it into the water.
But the water, it was like only like 2 feet deep at the beginning of the dock, and then
And you pole vault into the
pole
deep
vaulted.
side.
But this was like pole vaulting for distance, not height, because
Yeah.
like safety.
Yeah. Right.
So we pole vaulted for distance off of his dock, and then we did off his dock too. Remember, he
Off
used
his
to
what?
You
stand.
have video of this too?
I don't. We'll have to look. I'll have to
we
go
might.
back.
We
I
used to
gotta see
stand
this.
when he was at his like first house. Remember, he had that dock, and he would stand and hold the pole at the end, like in the because it was deep in this spot. It was like 5 feet deep, and he would hold it, and then you would run, grab the pole, and like launch yourself.
We definitely
as far as you
had
could.
fun ways of training
Yeah. Sounds like it.
when
Yeah,
you know
you can do it at the beach.
yeah,
Uh huh.
people do it at the beach too.
Nice.
Yeah, so
Very
yes,
cool.
not off the boat though.
Well, you can't really run.
No,
Don't you need to like get some
get-
momentum
yeah.
first?
you get a
or-
little hop going.
Unless you're in a brand new 45 CV, then you might be able to.
If I weren't afraid of actually hurting myself on a 45 CV, you could get enough of a run going.
Yeah.
And get over the bow for sure.
Right.
I could probably do it.
Yeah.
But we don't need to try.
No, we don't need to attempt that.
All right. Another one is, who would be the one stranded on an island fighting a shark trying to find food? Like between the two of us? This is from someone named AAD_swim.
I don't know.
I'm going to take a guess. You.
I feel like if we're going to get stranded, we're going to get stranded together.
Yeah, I know.
That's what's going to happen. We're going to have our boat capsize. We're going to swim to shore.
Who would be the better, person to be with in a life or death island stranded situation?
No, but you're talking about catching a shark. Maybe
I definitely would agree with if that's what they're referring to.
I thought it was like fist fighting a shark.
Well,
if you're actually on an island, maybe you have like a stick that you.
Today.
For those of you that don't know, between the two of us, I make Amanda go on shark dives with me.
I absolutely. So. Oh yeah. Okay, I hate shark dives, and she makes me do them. We did one in Hawaii, and it was a pelagic shark dive. So you're snorkeling at the top, and you're in 200 feet of water, and you see these dots at the bottom, and they're like, oh, there's a human up there. And then they come up, and they, swim with you. And it was so scary. We did this Hawaii shark dive, and she was, on her own, swimming, snorkeling, GoPro, whole thing. This was before we were doing YouTube, which I want to do it again for YouTube, but I don't want to do it again.
Well, that's what I was saying because of the shark thing.
You're right.
That's why I would think it would be you.
So you would be, and then I was I literally, I bear hugged the guide.
Oh yeah. So the two of us were next to each other, and she was obviously scared, and so we were close to each other, and then she kind of abandoned me, and she swam over to the free diving guide and literally wrapped around.
I was like, I'm not.
I was like, wow, I guess I'm by myself. So I was just by myself.
Yeah. And then she wants to go to the Bahamas ones, and I'm just like.
Yeah. So not so empathetic.
I'm not. I'm gonna do it because I don't want to get left behind. Mm-hmm. But if it weren't for you, I would never go do it.
Yeah.
I could see a moment where no, never mind. The shark goes after her, and then you're like, wait, that's my sister. And then you go rescue her.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. Anyway, all right. So more questions.
Are there more ones?
Are there more, or is that it?
Well, there's definitely.
I know you guys got a million.
We do.
Those are the funniest ones.
One good question that I want to ask.
Okay.
I don't remember who said it.
Oh.
But someone asked how we got the name to our business.
So not a strange question.
Okay.
But I think it's a good question.
All right.
I like this one. Okay. We've answered this question before. Not on this podcast, though. Just on maybe a Q&A YouTube vlog. I don't know. How we got the name to our business? Well, our last name's Gale.
And it's spelled
Gale.
Yes.
That's how it's spelled. So we didn't change the name or manipulate it. And when we were in high school track, the weight coach, I don't know, we were walking at a meet, and he was like, hey, it's the Gale Force Twins. And I was like,
I don't think at the moment
what's a Gale Force?
I don't even think I knew what a Gale Force wind was in that moment.
Oh, really?
I mean, I knew.
How long ago was this?
High school.
High school.
I knew. I just wasn't
it didn't register.
Yeah.
That I was being referred to as a Gale Force wind. And then it stuck though. And then everyone started calling us that. It stuck
there. Everyone called us that. And then on our first job on the water, the captain we were working with was kind of big into social media too. So he gave us the name. He was like, it's the Gale Force Twins. And then we continued with it.
So it started in sports.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then I think you took it a step further because when you went to play for the Hurricanes.
I know. And then we went
and then you
ran
guys,
track
you
at
guys
University
ran
of
track
Miami.
at University of Miami. And then to me, that's really when it all.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
And then now you guys make a living on the water and in South Florida, that's always tied to the weather and hurricanes.
I guess Gale Force is a lifestyle.
Gale Force winds.
Yeah.
And,
it's to be a Gale Force, you got to be intense and hardcore.
Right. And consistent.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
100%.
All right, cool. So listen, thank you very much for the strange questions. Is that it, or do you have more?
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. All right. You guys probably got 1,000 of them, but you picked a handful, which is good. So we have to pick one lucky winner. Do you want to do one? Normally, we just pick them from this list, right? Mm-hmm. But if you want to pick one from that list and one from this list, so we can kind of maybe we'll do 2 prize packs today.
Let's do that.
All right. So do one from your list, and we'll pick one from this list. And go ahead. Who are you going to pick?
We're pointing at different ones.
Uh-oh.
Should we rock, paper, scissors?
Fighting again.
Okay, rock,
So much
paper,
fighting.
scissors.
This is how they fight,
Whoever
Sam.
wins the rock, paper, scissors picks the winner from our page.
Okay.
one
Is it
time.
best 2 out of 3 or?
No, just once.
Just once.
Best 2 out of 3. Best
Yeah.
2 out of 3. That's always.
Well, now I'm questioning myself. That's a stranger question, but that was a fun question.
Well, rock, paper, scissors. And
Let's
you can
stick with
pick
it. Let's stick with it.
Okay, rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
All right,
Okay,
paper
so it's
wins, right? So Emily's got the first one.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, paper again. Emily, 2 for 2.
All right, I think
Boom.
No, it's best of 3.
that
Oh, wait.
2 out of 3.
Yeah, best 2 out of 3. So you're done.
You lost.
You lost, Amanda.
All right, the winner?
Yes.
The winner is Katie Jordan that asked if we would rather be inked by a giant squid or swim through a giant or school of lionfish.
Okay. Katie Jordan,
Yes.
squid.
I will definitely send her a message.
Okay. Cool. And then who do you want to pick from my list? Let's see. These are the ones that we we check that. We check that. These were the ones that we had Stan's with about the fighting. We had Sam's about the if you guys feel the pain of the other fish, and you got the costume one, and Larry got the same fish together. Then there's Justin starting trash, but we're not going to have Justin win. Justin can't win, so and Liz can't win, so we're not going to pick Liz's. And so we got the Mahi twin question. We got the Halloween costume question. We got Skip's calling him Fred, and Sam's. I know I kind of like Sam's, but and then Stan's. But you guys pick.
What was Sam's?
Sam was that's the one with the Hulu. If you feel the pain of each other kind of thing, but yeah, you tell me. Or
Which
we get the
one?
twin Mahi from Jason.
Well, you
So-
should pick this one because I picked the other one.
Oh boy, it's all on me.
On you, ready? Drum roll.
I'll go with if it has to be a strange question, I'm gonna do Halloween.
Yeah, that's what I would have done.
I would
Jim
do
Ruback
Halloween.
is the winner
Asking
of the
us
Connected by
for-
Water prize pack. Fear the hook, fear the cook. Jim is a master griller,
Ooh,
by the way. I mean
that's
that.
cool.
Like, he wins this, the Offered All one, the thing.
Yeah.
He wins it every year.
That's
He's won it
cool.
for like the last 6 years in a row.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the real deal. So cool. And speaking of real deal, we're actually going to plug their tackle store. Opens this weekend.
I know,
in
Saturday.
their new location,
I know.
Saturday,
10:30 a.m.
10:30 a.m.
I don't know why I remember that, but I do.
I don't know the exact address off the top of my head, but if you're around the corner of Federal and Atlantic and Pompano, you're going to find it. It's on the southwest corner-ish area of just about a few blocks on the south of
Just map
Atlantic.
real deal. Well, actually, I don't know if I put in the map because it might go to his old address.
Yeah, they might
I
not be on
just
the map
get it
yet.
for
Plug in the
everybody.
new
Real
address.
deal
Yeah,
on.
so John will put
Okay.
the new address up.
Okay.
And then, so Real Deal, I'm going to be there doing something, signing prints or maybe live painting. I'm not sure
Cool.
yet. So I just want to, since I said Real Deal, that actually reminded me to plug that. So Mike Lipsky's working hard and got his Real Deal going on. So, please support that local shop. And then, so I also want to get into some of the other things that you guys do. As you know, in the studio, we're all about supporting girls who fish, women who fish, all that, obviously. But so are you, right? And I don't mean that just from like, oh, we say we are, and we say that on our social media all the time. You guys actually do something about it with your fish camp,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? So you recently had an event.
Yes.
So let's talk about that.
We hosted ladies only fish camps.
Mm-hmm.
And what it was we hosted 2 of them, but one weekend or one camp, you could say, is over a weekend, Saturday, Sunday. And it's 2 full 8-hour days of hands-on, on the water learning and fishing.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to be a lady to be there. And the whole reason behind it was because we wanted to offer a safer environment for women to get out there and learn to fish. And we were the ones teaching them everything from how to tie a knot to how to throw a cast net to netting your fish, baiting your hooks. and
Dehooking your fish. I think that the majority so we ended up hosting, we originally were like, let's do one weekend when we could only take 12 girls, because what we did is we partnered with 2 Conks in Marathon because they have a lot of yellowfins.
and
So
there were 36 yellowfins.
Right,
So,
so
we needed the space.
we basically ran the camp on 136 yellowfin and 134 yellowfin. each twin went on one boat, and each boat had 6 girls.
And a captain.
So that was the best way to get as many girls as possible to the camp.
Mm-hmm.
So we originally booked one weekend, and it booked in like 48 hours. So we were like, okay, we got to open another weekend. So we opened a second weekend, which also booked,
filled up pretty quickly.
maybe in the next week really fast. And then we had a wait list for both camps after that. So we know there's a lot of girls that still want to go.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, I mean, a large amount of the girls there, I mean, it was a combination of girls that just wanted to learn to fish.
Mm-hmm.
It was a combination
We
of
had girls from Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina.
Michigan.
Yeah. And then we had some ladies that were from this area, like I would say maybe Pompano to Jupiter, Stewart,
Jacksonville.
that were able to actually take what we taught them and bring it back to their fishery. So we had a combination of girls that just really wanted the experience from just the knot tying. And I mean, at the end of the day, no matter where you're from, something that we taught you, you could take back to your fishery, even if it's how to tie your hook or how to bait something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not specifically the yellowtailing, because you can't yellowtail everywhere, but for the most part.
It was really fun. And a lot of the girls...
It looked like a lot of fun.
It was
from
amazing.
A lot
pictures,
of the girls there were maybe married and their husbands really like to fish. And, you know, they just needed a different teacher. It's kind of like you take driver's ed in high school. Your parents don't teach you to drive. At least that's what we did.
Yeah.
It's tough for the husband to teach the wife how to
Yeah.
fish sometimes because a lot of that stuff can get in the middle.
Or
And,
it was a dad and the daughter, and
The mom and the daughter.
mom and the daughter went,
mhm.
and we taught it in a very, I don't know, not that fishing should always be a safe environment, but we just taught it in a, we're not going to care if you lose every single fish you try to catch today.
Mhm.
You know, this is just going to be fun, and hopefully you learn something, you can take it back home.
Awesome. Awesome. So have you planned the next one yet?
Not yet.
No, but
So-
everyone's asking.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm
I guess
sure.
I would. There are YouTube videos on our channel about these camps, and the first one came out yesterday, and we have we have one for every day going out.
Mm-hmm.
And same with our Washington. We have Washington videos coming out too. But for people that want to be part of these camps, we really recommend you subscribe to our mailing list, which is galeforcefishing.com/subscribe, because a lot of these camps and events, we can only take, like Amanda said, 12 girls for one camp.
Mm-hmm.
And we will email our email subscribers first. And usually it fills up before I even have to post to Instagram about it. So, because we've definitely had emails from people like, oh, like I never saw how to sign up for it.
Mm-hmm.
And we look at our email subscribers as VIPs. So they get first chance. And then if there's space left, then that's when there'll be an Instagram post about it, or
And it's getting to the point where the email subscribers are
pretty quick.
Yeah.
They're on it.
They're ready.
They're,
Good.
Yeah.
Good. Awesome.
So I don't know
Awesome.
if, I mean, the latest camps did make it to social media.
The second one, because we added a second weekend.
The first camp, though, I'm pretty sure got booked just through email subscribers.
Right. Right. That's great that you
Yeah.
guys are getting that kind of response. And see, that's proof in the pudding that you're putting your money and your effort where your mouth is, and
Yeah.
you know, getting them all out on the water. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, very cool. And that's not the only event you do too.
Right.
You guys are doing your Pulley Ridge trips on the
Yes.
Yankee Captain,
Yes.
right? So tell us more about that as well. That's open. That's not just women. That's just
That's
open to
everybody. We welcome everybody. So we've gotten to know Captain Greg on the Yankee Caps. We actually knew him when we were working. I just like rolled all my words together. We got to know him when we worked in Key West, and
You almost got a job with him.
almost worked for him, but spending 4 days at sea and maybe 6 hours at home and back another 4 days at sea just wasn't really something I was looking to do.
Yeah, it's a tough haul.
Yeah. And it all started right in the beginning of COVID. Greg was hosting I guess you call it a locals trip /
Charter
captain's
captains,
trip.
yeah.
So he invited me and my sister to go out. It was all locals. I mean, it was COVID, so he couldn't run a full regular trip. So he invited all of the charter captains and locals to go. And we went on this trip, and I would say it was one of the coolest experiences ever. And the one thing I always say, though, before you get super excited about it, just remember it is camping. It is not glamping. It's camping.
It's rough. You rough it.
I didn't shower for 4 days. You're sleeping in bunk beds. You're bringing your sheets.
Yeah.
You know,
you're at the mercy of the sea conditions.
Yeah.
Yep. And there are showers. And
So then, all right. So for those that are not familiar
yes.
with
Okay.
the Yankee Captain
let's
and the
clarify
Pulley Ridge
this.
trip,
Good point.
clarify to the audience, if you could, how far out you go,
Good
where
point.
you're at. Like,
So,
give me some details
yes.
about that, just so everyone kind of can really grasp what you guys just said.
The Yankee Caps is a very famous, actually, head boat And a head boat is a boat where you pay for your seat. So you will be fishing with around, if you do a Polly Ridge trip, it'll be around 20 people. A Polly Ridge trip is a 3-night, 4-day fishing trip over 100 miles. I think we went 150 miles into the Gulf of Mexico.
Off of Key West?
Off of Key West, Florida. Yes. So it's a 10-mile run out. 10 10-hour run out.
I was going to say 10 miles, so it's a big deal.
It takes about 10 to 12 hours to get out there.
Yeah.
You leave the dock at 5 p.m.
John walks 10 miles up and down the
Yeah.
beach just to catch snook, apparently.
And then you get to your fishing spot at around 3 in the morning, and you get up, you fish, and you continue to fish for 3 days straight. And then right before the third night, you go to bed, and you wake up the next morning, you're back at the dock.
Yeah.
And it is, I would say, one of the coolest experiences you can have in your life if you are willing to risk being out there with the sea conditions.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's not a risk. It's safe.
Oh, no, it's 100% safe, but I know some people might not. They worry about getting seasick or things like that.
You're getting
That's
banged
fair.
around a lot.
You're
Yeah.
right. And like I said, there are showers, but they're heated. The water is heated through the engines. So the water gets so hot
Yes.
that like I won't take a shower. And other people don't either.
Some people shower. You don't have to shower, obviously. I just wear a hat the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's the coolest thing ever. You're fishing at 2 in the morning, catching massive, for our blackfins, getting 30 pounds is huge.
Mm-hmm.
So you're catching 30-pound blackfin tunas, and then you're bottom fishing for scamp groupers, yellowmouth groupers, yellow edge groupers,
Mutton
snapper.
And at nighttime, you're fishing in like 200 feet of water for the tunas and muttons. And then during the day,
depending on the trip and the conditions.
but on some of the trips during the day, you'll go and bottom fish in 600 feet of water, either electric or hand crank for snowy groupers.
I caught a snowy grouper hand cranking, slow pitch jigging in 600 feet of water. It
All
was
the way up.
All the way up.
Yeah.
It was probably the coolest thing I ever did. It
So-
was
Really?
Yeah, it was
And
really
then
cool.
between
She
fishing
would've hated
spots.
Oh, she didn't do it. She filmed it.
Oh, I didn't do it. I filmed it.
She's like, I'm just gonna record you
Literally,
doing this.
I was like, it hurt. My armpit was so tired. I was like,
So she likes bait fishing better.
I like bait fishing.
Uh-huh.
Like when we go on those trips, I like to fish with my D-bone ballyhoo and my sinker on the bottom, and she likes to
Slow pitch.
slow pitch. Both are effective, but yes, on that specific trip, I literally said to her, I go, I am so tired, I'm just gonna film you. So
Yes.
I did, and she caught a
It was a very big snowy grouper.
really big snowy grouper.
Yeah, nice.
And then between fishing spots, you can troll for wahoos and kingfish. So bring your trolling gear.
Even mahi sometimes.
Mahi. Yep.
That was. Yeah,
You'll see
catch-
mahi at night. It's
Oh.
beautiful out there. It's so pretty. The
At
wildlife.
nighttime?
I don't think I've ever caught a mahi at night.
At nighttime,
Yeah.
they don't.
I didn't
They're hard to
catch
hook at
one.
night because.
Johnny, you ever caught a mahi at night?
No, never.
Their
tried,
eyesight
really.
is not very good.
So you have to get the jig like right in front of their face.
You almost have to hook them. You know.
Really?
Yeah.
But they're mahi come to the boat at night, and then there's
'Cause the flyers come to the boat at night.
flyers. It's really really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah. And so we host these trips. If anybody wants to go on one with us, our trips are specifically Polly Ridge light trips. And what light means is that no electric needed.
It's all hand cranking and hand cranking depths.
Because,
up to 600 feet of water hand crank. So
yeah. I mean,
Nice laugh.
the reason why we didn't do a trip that requires electric reels is because not everybody has that.
and it's a more advanced trip, and our audience is probably a little bit more family oriented. So that's why we just do the regular Polly Ridge light trip. So it's all hand crank, and I don't think we were planning on going 600 feet of water and hand cranking on the last trip. But with what the bite was doing, we ended up in 600 feet of water hand cranking.
Right.
So, because the last trip that we did was in August, and it's really hot in August.
Mm-hmm.
And
think the water
the
was just so
shallow,
hot during the
shallow
day.
water, as in anything less than 200 feet, the bite was just kind of off. So we went to that deeper water to get to cold water.
Yeah, that's fishing.
And then
though,
we were
right?
catching
It's an adaptive
Snowy
thing.
groupers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, we basically host these trips now with Greg, and it's been really fun. We've only hosted one so far, and
We have 2 more in the calendar.
we have 2 more.
You do?
Yes.
What are the dates
so
of those?
It's May. What is it? May 10th. It's the Monday after Mother's Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's one, and then the next one is again in August. I don't have the August dates off the top of my head. People do email us and message us and ask when they can book, because on Greg's website it says the trip is full, and that's just because
It's a private
Because you
trip.
have it booked.
Yes.
right. So if they want to book it,
You have to go through us.
Yeah, basically you go through us, but what we're doing is when it's available, because it's not available to book yet, but probably in the next week it will.
Yeah,
be.
we're going to get it out there.
Same thing. We're gonna send our email subscribers a notification.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, working hard, man.
Yeah.
Working hard. So what else you guys got going on? Tell me some stories.
Some stories.
What else have we done? I mean,
You guys have been all over the place. It's been nonstop. You've been back and forth between here and the Keys.
yeah.
Right.
And I think we're kind of in a place where we've been filming a lot of YouTube videos in other places like Washington, but Washington was amazing.
How is the scenery there?
It's
Like,
beautiful.
it looked really
it's
like
I don't know
picturesque.
if there's any Twilight fans out there. It's where Twilight was
I
filmed.
don't know if Twilight fans are going to be watching this, but
John's a Twilight fan.
Yeah.
it
big
is
Twilight
where
fan.
Twilight was
In fact,
filmed.
he was going to
and
buy the same car as the guy just so he could be like him.
I'm actually reading the new book right now.
Are you really?
Yes.
I didn't know they had a new book.
Yeah.
I'm not that big of a
It's
fan.
from Edward's point of view. But yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, so people are messaging us saying, like, do you even have your boat anymore? Because we haven't had a lot of videos on our boat.
It's just because we've been hosting a lot of fish camps on other boats and these Pulley Ridge trips.
we haven't had time. So we actually, our plans from November through probably the next Pulley Ridge trip in May, I mean, we really want to primarily fish on our boat, the two of us.
and just get back to filming more educational videos.
Yeah.
I mean, right now our boat is actually it's at
Boathouse Marine. And
Oh, it's here
yeah.
right now.
getting a full detail.
It's
Well,
getting
it's ready.
it's getting some TLC.
It's getting
Gotcha.
a full detail service. They're making it all really pretty, and I'm sure they'll clean the wrap nice appropriately.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing there, so
Yep.
we're gonna go pick it up after this. Actually,
Nice.
so
Yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. So we're going to keep tabs on you guys for the
Okay.
next few months, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't keep tabs on these two, make sure you do,
Yeah.
right? And follow at Gale Force Twins, right? And what else you want to
Yeah.
plug here?
Well,
Anything
I
else
mean,
you got going
we're
on?
I would
on-
say we're Gale Force at Gale Force Twins on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now TikTok. Which, believe it or not, TikTok is like one of our biggest followings.
Really?
Yes.
yeah, but I wouldn't call it a loyal following.
TikTok is an account that we just grew really fast on.
Mm-hmm.
And
but I don't know. I'm kind of scared of the app, so I don't have the app on my personal phone.
we
It's
keep it on our work
only
phone.
on our work phone, and like we don't carry it with us. Because this app, like I listened to like a podcast for like it was like an hour-long podcast about TikTok and what it accesses.
Well,
Right.
and not only that, but what it does to your brain.
Yeah, apparently it's like designed to be super addicting and like no, it's like really.
And I will admit to that. I have found myself when TikTok first came
I was
out.
scrolling TikTok.
I don't scroll on Instagram for hours, but
What?
TikTok, you can scroll on it for hours.
Really? What was the app that was being controlled by the Chinese
It was
government?
TikTok.
You guys are still on it?
Well, yeah, so
we have an account on it that we use,
They're
but
coming after you guys.
it's only on our work phone and like.
I believe an
that's-
American
and-
company is trying to buy it.
Yeah, we're really hoping they do. They talked about like Microsoft buying it, I think, but yeah, this podcast was like really scary and
Bill
just
Gates
talked about
definitely has the money.
what they're accessing and like what they're paying attention to. Like, I mean, basically, it sounds like you really have to be using the app, you know, by swiping, and
Right.
they pay attention to what you watch, what you don't watch, and they basically the way they worded it is they're brainwashing like teeny boppers and like brain.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what
It's-
they're
it's
doing
like,
with this
It's
app.
like a digital attack. on
Yeah,
the
and
United
they
States of
figured
America.
out the right algorithm to give you enough videos to keep you interested in the things you like, and then pushing their agenda with other videos as well. Yeah.
Me no
So-
gusta.
So I
Hopefully,
don't.
our fishing videos on TikTok bring a little bit of light to that world.
But yes, we are on TikTok, and there are a lot of kids.
I could
on
see
it.
like whoever leads the Chinese government. Oh, Gale Force. Gotta go get them.
Yeah. So, and then I would say the only thing that's not Gale Force Twins, our website is galeforcefishing.com.
because somebody owns Gale Force Twins, and it makes us really mad.
Who does?
We don't
We
know.
don't know. I can't figure out. It's like all private information, and I paid a lawyer to
buy
try
it
and
back.
buy it back, and
He
or
won't
not buy it
sell
back,
it.
just buy it. Period, and they will not sell it.
It's not an active website.
So we're like really like mad about it.
Yeah,
I need that website.
that's yeah. Ugh.
Right?
Yeah.
I feel like they know who we are.
Oh, they
I
do.
would.
And I think that,
I can guarantee it.
and I'm like, maybe
By the-
it's someone that I know.
I confess, it's me. The whole time I owned Gale Force Twins.
So-
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know why someone
Totally
would think
not
to buy it, but they bought it in like 2011.
Yeah, but in 2011,
We were pole vaulters.
pole vaulters known as the Gale Force Twins. So I'm like,
It's
well,
probably somebody we know.
maybe it's someone I know that thought it was
Almost
a cool
certainly.
name.
It's probably like our coach.
I would hope not.
Give him a call.
Well, I
You never know because
yeah.
you don't know because he might be like, hey, they found out who it was.
No, it was private,
like private information.
Yeah,
You can't access
for whatever
it for some
reason.
Usually, like, you can figure that out, but
Call them up. This is just a hunch. Call them up. Be like, hey, you didn't happen to buy this website because he may have been like, I'm going to need to secure this for these guys. And then totally forgot about it.
yeah, honestly,
You never know.
I wouldn't put it. Yeah,
it might be a good situation.
That's true.
Don't always look at the negative of it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So, you mentioned your site. You got some apparel up there that you're selling right now,
Yep.
right? Is that Connected by Water as produced?
Yes.
And with the all new artwork and designs and things like that. So
Yep, that's on galeforcefishing.com.
So if anyone is in the market for the best apparel in the business, go over there, buy it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool, right?
Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to plug?
I think that's everything.
Yeah.
That's everything for now?
Yeah.
All right,
been
cool.
Really great to be here.
Thank you for having us.
Kidding me?
We haven't been on this podcast in too long because we had way too much to talk about. Well, I mean, that's a good thing, but
Yeah, well, I mean, it's like we want to guys, have you on all the time.
Yeah.
I don't think there's been anyone on the show that's been on more than you guys. So, which is
Thank you.
how I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
So, and then, we'll make sure that can we put up an ad about the Twilight book for you, John, to make sure that everyone knows where to find it?
Sure.
All right, so. Would you want to be a wolf or something, or no? All right.
No, vampire.
A vampire.
Mhm.
All right. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
on the
you want to
vampire
be a
thing.
vampire.
Yeah, you want to be a vampire.
At least I would.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, cool. I want to promote a couple of things here. We talked about the Real Deal Bait and Tackle this weekend. Make sure you guys head over to their site and check it out. Check out
Thank you.
all the awesome things that they have going on. Subscribe to their YouTube channel. Subscribe to our YouTube channel as well while you're at it. So you can watch this podcast and watch all the great and amazing guests that we have on here all the time. We want to give a shout out to the Joey Accardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. If you're in the market for a truck or vehicle, I love my Ram Rebel. And if you drove it, you would too. It drives like a dream. They got some great trucks coming out. They got great Jeeps. They got great vehicles. They got great Chargers. They got great Challengers. But the one thing I've really been looking at lately is that TRX. Thing looks pretty sick.
badass.
700 something horsepower for a pickup truck.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. And then, yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. We good?
Yeah.
All right. Your ego is not your amigo. Always do your best and just let God do the rest.
That's
And
cute.
always remember to buy all your vehicles at Joey Accardi Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. And we'll see you when we see you. All right?
Cool.
Remember, no matter where we are, no matter what we're doing, we're always,
Connected by water.
yeah. See ya.
Bye.